Hello friends, Andrew here at SHOT 2022 with Augie, with Tactical Night Vision Company, the lowest sugar night vision on the market. Now obviously a lot of people, of course, Tactical Night Vision Company sells night vision. People get the idea that that's all you sell, but you don't. You sell a lot of lights and lasers and mounts and pouches and just all sorts of operationally gear.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, basically while we're Tactical Night Vision Company, I mean, we basically specialize in anything that kind of falls under the umbrella of what the military would call visual augmentation systems. So that's going to include your lasers, that's going to include your optics, especially ones that are night vision compatible, as well as your night vision and thermal equipment. And then we have helmets, and we've got also all of the supporting gear and all the supporting infrastructure that you need for any of your nighttime or low light needs. So the first thing that we got is actually something that we showed, I guess the last time we did this, which was 20...
Too long ago.
Yeah. What was that, 2020 that we did this last, or 21?
2020.
2020, yeah. So we showed an early version of the Pixels on Target Voodoo S, small clip-on thermal weapon sight here, or and it can be used as a standalone thermal weapon sight, or it can be used, as you can see, as in a clip-on configuration ahead of your day optic. At the time, people were very excited by the prototype that we had that was then under development. In the time since, these things are now ready for production or ready to go on sale. They are in the field now, and we have units that are waiting to ship right now. So these will be available immediately after SHOT Show on our website. Retail price is going to be about $17,000. So they're not budget optics, so to speak, but for the capability that you get out of them, and the size and the form factor, they're extremely impressive. We're really excited to be able to work with Pixels on Target, to be able to have these, to be able to carry these, and to make them available to you. Totally unrestricted, no military or law enforcement requirement in order to purchase the Voodoo S. So look for that very soon. We'll be talking a lot more about it also during our VShot presentation right after SHOT Show. That's going to be February 8th through the 10th. That you can access online if you go to our website, TNVC.com. There's a registration for VShot. We're also going to have some giveaways, and we're going to have, where it's going to be a really exciting event where we can really dig into detail about all of these new products that we're kind of previewing here at SHOT Show. And there's also going to be a live panel discussion that you guys can ask questions, and we'll be able to answer them in real time for you. You don't have to fly all the way to Vegas and get a room in the Venetian and walk the 20 miles through all of the booths to get the information.
I did 9 miles yesterday.
Yep. So the other new product, or relatively new product, that we have on this rifle here is obviously, a lot of people are going to be familiar with the L3 Harris NGAL. That's the next generation aiming laser. Unfortunately, the NGAL right now is restricted to military and law enforcement sales only. However, for our customers that do use the NGAL, with our partner Unity Tactical, we have released the Tap Sync for the NGAL. So it's got the new NGAL style plug, which is different than the traditional crane style plug that a lot of people will be familiar with if you use a lot of lasers. And the other big feature of the NGAL Tap Sync is that it allows you to activate the visible override of the NGAL.
Just showing off this plug here.
Yep. So you can see it's a new plug. But so it will activate either the laser or the vis override. And vis override, obviously is a feature that's been available on some lasers, but it's been it's not always the easiest to implement in terms of the control interfaces. Another combat system, laser system that we're excited to be able to talk about is the Wilcox Industries Raid XC. Right now, we still don't know exactly when the Raid XC is going to be available, and the price point is still being worked on. However, there is going to be a Class 3 restricted power version, which is restricted for military and law enforcement only, as well as a low power Class 1 version that's going to be available to unrestricted to the commercial market. So look for information on the Raid XC from Wilcox Industries. We've also got a couple of small accessories from Echo Arms. I wouldn't let the fact that they are small deter you. So handheld thermals like the Envision Nox and the FLIR Breach have become increasingly popular, especially for hunters as well as outdoors enthusiasts that just want to be able to scan and observe for wildlife. Problem is, you can be looking at something, and somebody that doesn't have a thermal device, with a night vision device, is not going to be able to see what it is that you're looking at. Because there's no way to really convey to somebody what you're looking at. What we've developed with Echo Arms are these little attachment rails that will go onto either the Nox or the FLIR Breach that allows you to add the Tor Mini, the TNVC Steiner Tor Mini to a thermal monocular, and that way you can use it. So if you're scanning for something and you see something, you want to point it out to somebody who's using night vision, you can go ahead and you can use the IR laser to designate where that is, so that whoever you're with that's using night vision goggles knows what you're looking at, and you have an IR designator that they can see.
So you can see, for example, you can see the pig in the brush. The brush obscures the pig from your buddy who's wearing visible light amplification night vision devices. He can't see the pig through the brush because infrared doesn't go through the brush. It does. His NVDs are using visible light, and it's just amplifying the ambient light.
Right.
You fire that IR laser at it, he can see, oh, okay, it's there, it's in that bush.
Yep. So the other, some other accessories that we have from Echo Arms are these dual light mounts or illuminator mounts. So there's a couple of different versions. They can use the 18350 rechargeable batteries for use with mod light heads, or the CR123 types, for things like a Surefire Scout, or even for the new B.E. Myers Kiji, which you may have seen before, which is a small VCSEL diode-based IR illuminator. So basically an IR flashlight, but instead of using an LED like most IR illuminators, most civilian IR illuminators do, it actually uses a VCSEL laser diode that gives it a lot more clarity, a lot more distance. And again, the Kiji from B.E. Myers is completely unrestricted. So these little dual mounts, if you want to have a great IR illuminator coupled with a great visible white light, you'll be able to use this dual mount and mount them on your rifle. You can see there's an M-LOK interface. Without having to play that game of all the different types of separate mounts and separate bodies and everything like that, and trying to figure out how you're going to get everything to fit on a single handguard, which especially with shorter rifles is going to be extremely helpful. Just another small cool thing, because Echo Arms thinks of everything, because you may not always be using both heads on this, and you don't want to carry, you don't want to have everything installed. They've also got these blank caps that you can install.
So now it's a spare battery compartment.
Yep, so that you can that you can seal it off. They've also got They've also got a sidecar light mount for the B.E. Myers Mall, as well as for the L3 Harris NGAL. Both of these will replace the factory bracket. And allow you to mount a mod light or a Surefire Scout in that position. to the light. So the last thing that we've got right now is really a relatively small little thing, but it's again, you know, highly anticipated. So we were able to get the ECody from Optics One released and available for commercial sales. You know, we worked with Optics One and their parent company to allow us to sell the previously restricted ECody for commercial sales. So they're available for commercial sales, and we were able to do the same with L3 Harris to make the BNVD 1531 available. Finished system from the factory from L3 Harris. Again, it was highly sought after, but previously restricted. So we made both the ECody and the 1531 available. Unfortunately, what people quickly found was that none of the existing brackets for the ECody to mount to the goggle actually worked with the BNVD 1531.
So what is the ECody and what does it do?
So the ECody, this is basically just a small thermal clip-on. It also has some augmented reality capabilities. There's a GPS battery pack so that you can get your grid location, but the main event is really the fact that it's got a thermal sensor here, and then you're able to clip it on to the device, and it will give you a thermal overlay into your image intensifier tube so that you have a thermal analog image intensification night vision fusion system.
So in my left eye, I would have regular intense.
In your right eye in this configuration,
in my left eye, it's just going to be regular amplified visible light, and in the right eye, it's going to be amplified visible light plus thermal.
Yes. Yep. And it's set up so that you get that overlay. I mean, the fact that it's in one channel, it allows your brain will merge the two images. So you will basically get a thermal signature, 30-degree thermal signature. So when you consider the fact that your analog image intensifier tube is 40 degrees. So that's 75%, and the most important 75% of it in the center. Will have that thermal overlay. There's a full thermal mode, a patrol mode, and an outline mode, and it is now compatible with the BNVD 1531 using the new bracket that we'll be releasing early this year.
That's pretty rad. Well, thank you, Augie. Thank you for putting up with my crap. It's always a pleasure. Thank you guys for
watching.
Always a joy. I love you.